Whipping up all of your favorite recipes.
Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food.
Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy SimplyFoodByTy, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how I make some Asian lettuce wraps. Now, of course, if you want, you can absolutely serve this over some rice. That's completely up to you. But if you're looking for the slightly or healthier option, this is definitely a go-to because it's jam-packed with protein, okay? So let's jump right on into it. So the first thing we're going to work on is, of course, the sauce. Now, if you are a person that is very salt conscious, definitely keep an eye on your measurements for this recipe. I would also suggest that if you're going to be making this recipe the exact way that I did it, use 2 pounds of whatever type of ground meat of your choice, okay? If you use just about 1 pound, it's going to end up way too salty, so just keep that in mind. So I just added in about 1/3 cup of some low sodium soy sauce and about a teaspoon to about a teaspoon and a half of some ginger. Of course, you can put in fresh ginger, that's totally fine. I'm putting in about a teaspoon of gochujang, which is like a Korean chili paste, just to give it a little bit of kick, but of course it's not gonna add that much, heat to it at all. I've also added in a few dashes of ponzu, which is like a really citrusy marinade. It's everything, okay? I'm also adding in about a teaspoon of oyster sauce, and I'm also gonna be adding in some Lakanto monk fruit sweetener, the golden. This is the brown sugar one. Of course, you can use the regular white sugar version of monk fruit, or you can use regular white sugar. I'm really trying to watch how much sugar I'm consuming, so I've switched over to monk fruit. And then I also added in about a teaspoon of hoisin sauce as well. Now, this right now, as you can see, is already nice and mixed up. What I would suggest you do is get yourself a spoon and taste it. If you do feel like it's a bit too salty for you, feel free to add in a little bit more sugar or some more citrus, okay? Now, I'm going to be using sunflower oil. This is organic sunflower oil because, once again, I'm just being a little bit more conscious about the things that I put in my body. So I'm eliminating like vegetable oil and olive oil and all of that. Sunflower oil is a really, really good oil for your body, and it's really good to help balance out cholesterol and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to be using ground turkey here. Ground chicken. And that was roughly about 1.5 pounds. Once again, I would suggest you guys use 2 full pounds of it. But again, if you're only going to make a small amount, that's totally fine. Just add in your sauce little by little so that you can decide, how salty you really want it to be. Now, I've added in about 2 tablespoons of some garlic. I've added in a tiny amount of kosher salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. Once again, you're going to get a lot of salt from all of the from the soy sauce and the hoisin sauce and the oyster sauce and all of that. So really be careful, because I'm telling you right now, Asian chicken lettuce wraps are so easy to oversalt. So just, keep that in mind, okay? I also added in about a tablespoon of the Maggie pollo chicken seasoning as well, just to give it an extra boost of flavor. Now, if you guys aren't really used to working with ground chicken, I just want to put this out there now so that none of y'all mess around and give yourself no damn food poisoning, okay? Please make sure that the meat is fully cooked. You cannot treat this like you would ground beef. Like, once it turns grayish, that is not done, okay? You want to make sure that you really allow this to cook. This is ground chicken, you guys, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there because I've seen people make this before and the chicken was not fully cooked. And it's really easy to mistake it for being cooked when it's not, okay? So while we're letting that start to cook, let's start to prep up some of the veggies. Now, I have about 1/2 cup of matchstick carrots here. I'm just giving it a rough chop just because I don't want the huge slivers of the carrots. I want it to be mixed throughout. If you're not a carrot person, you do not have to add in carrots. I just like it because it brings great color to the dish and it tastes pretty good, as well as some green onions as well. You want to make sure that these are nice and clean. Chop off the end, and then you want to go ahead and dice that all the way up. Now, of course, you can add in as much or as little as you want, or if you're not a person that really likes green onions, then by all means, you definitely don't have to add them in there. Once again, it's great for the aesthetic of the dish, but it also adds great flavor. Just really, really make sure that you wash them up really well. Okay, so I don't know why, but for some reason on my screen, this meat still looks like it is completely white, which is absolutely hilarious to me because in person, it is far darker than what it actually looks like on here. But we're getting to the stage now where it's starting to get some nice brown coloring to it, and that's what you guys are looking for, okay? So if on your screen this meat looks gray, that's what you don't want your meat to look like, okay? You want it to have nice brown coloring to it. I think it's just the way the lighting looks. But yeah, you want it to have nice brown coloring. Once it's nice and fully cooked, you want to go ahead and add in your carrots. Like I said, you can add in as much or honestly as little as you would like. As the heat gets to the carrots, of course, they'll soften up nicely and they'll also release a little bit of water. You know, carrots hold a lot of water in them, and it'll also help sweeten up the dish naturally as well. Once again, you do not have to add in carrots. That's completely up to you. I know some people's children despise carrots, but in all honesty, I think this is a good way to kind of sneak in a little bit of carrots without them realizing it. Now, one more time in regards to the sauce, I'm only going to use about half of it. I reserved some of it in a little mason jar on the side, and that's what I would suggest you guys do because again, you don't want to run the risk of this being overly salty, and that truly is going to depend on how much meat you're using. Of course, if you're using more meat, of course the sauce would be thinned out. If you're using less meat and you use all of the sauce and it's really going to be pungent and you don't want it to be over salty, you know what I mean? The good thing is by adding in the sugar, whether you use regular sugar or monk fruit, the sugar is really going to help balance out some of that salt. So just keep that in mind when you taste your sauce in the beginning. If your sauce is really salty in the beginning before you even add it to the meat, then that means you should add either some more citrus or a little bit more sugar, okay? You're going to allow that to cook for, I would say, about another maybe 3 or 4 minutes, just so that that meat can really soak in all of that goodness. Then you're going to add in your green onions, top it off with a little bit of sesame seeds, give it a mix around, and honestly, that's it. This dish is so incredibly easy to make, and it's actually really healthy for you, you know what I mean? If you want it to be as healthy as possible, do like I'm doing, and I'm having mine as lettuce wraps. But if you want to make it a more fulfilling meal, absolutely, throw it over some rice and have yourself a ball. But as you can see, it looks divine and it is bomb, okay? It is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to be using some butter lettuce that I've already made sure that I wash, and I'm just literally going to put in a spoonful. And like I said, this dish, because you're not using rice, you can feel free to really use a nice serving of the meat itself. And then I'm going to tell you, by the time you're done, you don't even realize how much you've eaten, and you're going to be nice and full. I mean, these are nice, healthy, servings of the meat. So you're not going to miss out on any of that. That's for sure. Look, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Try this recipe out. I'm sure that you're going to love it. If you're new to my channel, welcome to SimplyFoodByTy. If you're one of my returning subscribers, y'all babies know I love y'all so much. And as always, y'all stay cute and take care. Bye.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.